Welcome back to The Big Picture. I'm Penny Wolfgang. Some veterans and their families in our hometowns need our help, whether it's financial, physical, or emotional support. Western New York Heroes is there for them. We're honored to have the founder with us here today, Iraq War veteran Chris Kreiger, and the program director, Iraq War veteran Lynn Magistrale. Chris and Lynn, welcome to The Big Picture.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Your bio on the Western New York Heroes website shares your background of service starting in 1997, your missions in Iraq, sustaining injuries, protecting us at Ground Zero, returning back to the Middle East to serve in Operation Iraqi Freedom, only to return home in 2007 and find it nearly impossible to secure disability pay and losing your home. I am hoping that you would be able to share your story with our viewers as we're here today. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah, it was, my service actually returned home from Iraq in 2004. I got out of the military in 2007, but coming back home, we were kind of the first wave to return home from the beginning of the war in 2003, and dealing with my own injuries and in and out of the hospital, Polytrauma Brain Center in Richmond, Virginia. I lost everything. You know, my wife at the time and my two boys, we had everything that we call the American dream, only to lose it all because of trying to deal with my own injuries and get myself back on track, that the banks didn't want to hear it. Hunt Real Estate, God bless them, they actually stepped up and tried to put together a fundraising event to help save everything. It was just, we were so far in debt that it just wasn't enough. And we ended up losing everything and going to a 2-bedroom apartment, which is all we can afford, you know. And it was just watching the change in my kids that was truly more upsetting than anything.
What prompted, I can well imagine, and you know, we should have said at the beginning, and I will say to both of you, to thank you for your service, what motivated you to serve our country?
It runs deep in our family, obviously, and I know just over Veterans Day, WBBZ ran a MASH special that
Yes.
we had also sponsored, and I was all about it when they reached out to us because it was MASH, me growing up and watching MASH and sitting there going, that is what I want to do. I want to join the military, I want to be a medic, and I want to do exactly what they're doing. So between family heritage and the movie MASH is what drew me to go ahead and join.
We actually love to hear that on WBBZ. So then how did you come to begin or create Western New York Heroes?
With everything that was going on and my taking my anger to the media and the radio, Reader's Digest doing a story, there was a woman who reached out after I got back from the Polytrauma Brain Center and said, hey, would you be interested in meeting for a cup of coffee at Tim Hortons? We met, I figured I had nothing else to lose, and Western New York Heroes. And we've just been running with it ever since. So, my vision was if I was going to do this, if I was going to get involved, that, knowing what myself and my family went through, I didn't want another veteran in their family to go through. So everything, every program, everything about Western New York Heroes is based off personal experience.
And Lynn is a veteran too, and we thank you, Lynn, for your service. Could you share your story of service to our country with our viewers?
Thank you, Penny. So I retired in 2015, and after my retirement was when I realized, what am I going to do next? Prior to that, I served 13 years in the Navy and 9 years in the Air Force, which is where I retired from medically due to a medical issue that I was dealing with at the time. After my transition from the military into the civilian world is when my challenges began. I had nowhere to turn, no clue on what I needed to do for my transition. Retiring right here out of Niagara Falls in Buffalo, in Niagara Falls, New York, they didn't have any type of transition unit for you right here, so they sent me out of state to transition out. And that was when I realized that I needed to reach out to other places to find some answers. And I actually stumbled across Western New York Heroes, and they took me right under their wings and started to help me navigate the out processing process and getting my pay straight, my retirement pay, my medical issues. And then that's when I started dealing with my time during overseas and transitioning back here, even though it was years later.
So then I know you're involved, but what do you do? What is your position? What are your responsibilities as program director for Western New York Heroes? What are the needs of the families that you address?
So I oversee all of our programs, which you can see on our website. We have many of them right now. The big highlight is Adopt a Veteran Family program that we have running through the holidays. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, what you celebrate or don't celebrate. We're here to help you during this time of the year when gas prices are more expensive, electric is more expensive. We have a Heroes Bridge program that can help you with your utility bills and rents and your mortgage as well. But we also have to implement those programs and Adopt a Heroes program that will help you to get hats, gloves, coats, boots. If you do celebrate Christmas, perhaps a Christmas tree or stuff to put under the tree at this time when prices are skyrocketing, and with COVID here even more so. We're having families reach out to us that haven't before, that actually have sponsored families before, and now they're looking for assistance for themselves because of a million different reasons, whether it be loss of job or just the stress of being out into the community, and they're becoming a little bit more homebound. So we're doing a lot of outreach and a lot of care with that program that branches off to more than just gifts to be brought into the household. We're focusing on peer-to-peer and staying in contact with everybody and keeping them engaged with each other so that they don't become shut-ins or become one of the 22 that we hear about all the time. We've currently lost a veteran to suicide, and our hopes and prayers are that we don't continue to see that trend continue.
And Chris, you want to just tell us a little more about, I don't know if it was your initiative, it's called Adopt a Heroes Family, right?
Correct.
And it's a drive for support, but as Lynn was saying, it's not your traditional.
Right, yeah, your traditional, everyone's used to Toys for Tots. In 2009, we had 4 families who had reached out and needed assistance, and it was really tough to get them the assistance that they were seeking during the holidays. And that's when, again, based off personal experience and knowing even with my own family and not being able to afford Christmas and having to reach out to other organizations to help us, I wanted to form a program that does the same thing but for veterans and their families. So with our program, it's not a Toys for Tots. We don't go out and seek barrels of toys. The veterans apply through our website. They fill out their wish list, and the wish list is about the family as a whole. It's not just about the children. We want to make sure that the parents as well get to have a holiday. Without the parents, the parents wouldn't have the kids. Without the kids, so then what happens is when they fill out the application, then we seek people out in the community, whether it's small business, large corporation, the single individual who's looking to adopt a family and make sure that they get to have a Christmas.
So it's all encompassing, and it's so important what you mentioned, that it involves the whole family and
Absolutely.
everybody, and that's where you get, and you try to match, when you say adopt a family, you try to match the needs of the family with people in the community?
Yeah, so when a veteran applies to the program, the only thing our sponsors receive is the wish list. They don't get any of the personal information, medical documentation, or anything of that sort. The sponsors will call and talk with Lynn. Lynn kind of screens the sponsors, screens the veterans. We have sponsors who say, I'm looking to adopt 3 families, maybe with 4 individuals in there. And Lynn will go through the applications until she finds an application that has a family of 4 and go ahead and give it to the sponsor.
So speaking of Lynn, how can people navigate your website for information if they need help or if they want to donate? How does it work?
We try to make the website as user-friendly as possible. If you go to WNYheroes.org, everything is right there for you, all the different grants and all the different programs that we offer. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also have LinkedIn, or you can call our office at 716-630-5020, and somebody will gladly help you. navigate any of those programs or the websites in general. We are all veterans there, to include a couple of the volunteers that sit at the front desk and help answer phones as well. And we just are veterans helping veterans at the end of the day.
All right, Chris, what is your holiday wish?
My holiday wish, honestly, all kidding aside, is I just want to be able to help as many veterans and their families, not just through the holidays, but every day. Being able to help another veteran and their family, to me, is my therapy. And obviously with COVID and the way that the state and our country is starting to take a turn again, it is scary for everyone. We have remained operational during COVID right from the get-go, and we're going to continue to do so and let our veterans and their families know, look, we're no different than you. We don't act like we're better than you. We don't try to, dress all fancy. We don't allow anybody in our office to dress fancy. I'm wearing a hoodie right now, right? So we don't want anyone to feel like when they come in, it's already humiliating enough to walk through the door and ask for help. To try and do it to somebody who's in a suit or dressed in a fancy dress now is even more humiliating. So my wish is to just, if you need the help, don't feel intimidated or humiliated. This is why we're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chris Kreiger and Lynn Magistrale from Western New York Heroes. WBBZ is proud to continue to support your organization. This is all the time we have for this edition of The Big Picture. Thanks for watching, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.
G-Health is really trying to do their part in light of COVID Thanksgiving that we're going to have. I think it's very difficult for a lot of families not having access to food and other things that are so important during these times.
We are here today to give out turkeys to the community. Every year, G-Bond donates turkeys to their members as well as people in the community. So it's very special for us, especially for those people, especially during this time, for people who can't afford turkeys and the sides. So it's very, very nice to see people come out, pick up turkeys for their members, and deliver them. Thankfully, United Healthcare, Wegmans, and Goya has sponsored some of the turkeys as well as the food bags. And each food bag has rice, the seasoning, beans, there's vegetables, cranberry, and gravy.
We will be helping 750 families with our turkeys. I absolutely love what Tony and Dr. V do. I think it's phenomenal during a pandemic that we're still doing our annual turkey giveaway. It means the world to me to be out in community and see the smile that's on people's faces to know that they're going to get a Thanksgiving dinner still.